So if you are one of those who is confused about how to enter finance and has got a lot of knowledge from various sources on, because there are so many suggestions in the market related to, this is the course which should be done in order to enter finance, or that is the course which is the ultimate degree for getting into finance. In this video, we bust those myths. We clear out all those myths, and we give you correct suggestion into how you can actually enter finance, and looking at how the industry is actually working, what are the skill set which are required, what is the mindset which is required into getting into a flawless career into finance. So giving you some instances that entering finance is not just about getting the correct finance degree. Is if you look at this movie, if you have seen a movie called as The Big Short, in which there's a hedge fund manager by the name of Michael Burry, who is actually portrayed as actually a real figure, who is actually a doctor and still ends up becoming a hedge fund manager, right? And there are tons of other examples which I can give, who have held very senior positions in companies like Goldman Sachs, would not have a background in finance. So obviously there's some disconnect in terms of what exactly is required to enter finance versus what the traditional method of suggestion actually works, right? And that's what we want to dig in. So let's get started. By first understanding the skill set which is required to enter finance, right? So just like any other field, whether it is marketing, whether it is sales, whether it is operations, there are certain fundamental skills which you cannot get away with, right? And the language which is used in finance, whether it is investment banking, whether it is financial planning and analysis, or even whether it is general accounting, uses a simple common tool called as Excel. Now, whenever I say Excel, people tend to think that the entirety of Excel. That's not what exactly I mean, because when we are talking about Excel, we are talking about very specific uses of Excel in finance. We do not necessarily need to know what is Visual Basics or coding factors or coding aspects of Excel, but we want to focus more towards the general functions. So think about a finance guy who is entering, who has a lot of data which he has to analyze, right? His major initial work is about just sorting out the data, creating a template, right? And just linking out various data points which have been given in the Excel. So hence common functions like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, SUMIF functions, these are the major functions which we're basically using, right? We're not really getting into the advanced Excel part because our data size that we're dealing with in finance, generally when we're talking about FP&A or investment banking fundamental analysis, we have a very limited amount of data that we're dealing with, right? And that's where a lot of myths or misinformation is there, that we need to know Visual Basics, we need to know Power BI, so many aspects of things which actually are not really required in the industry, right?
If you find any value in our content that we create related to interview questions, then give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe our channel. And if you have any questions, or if you want us to prepare a specific video on interview preparation for a company, then put it in the comment box and we'll be happy to create a content on that.
So that's where the that's how much Excel is actually required in finance. But then when you're dealing with Excel, you need to understand that it's not just about learning these functions, but it's also about knowing when I get a certain data set to work with, I should know how to frame the problem and how to create a template which will suit the solution, rather than just going all crazy with Excel and doing all sorts of analysis, which actually is very counterproductive, right? So that's the fundamental aspect of when we're dealing with the minimum requirements of skill in this industry, which is the common language used, which is Excel, right? Era of so much of talking about so many tools in Python and Power BI and SQL and so many other languages, why Excel is still the predominant platform which we use in finance is primarily because of the ease of use, and also because every other analyst is using Excel, so it's very interchangeable. You can quickly calculate the file. You don't really need a lot of background in Excel, as opposed to if, let's say, somebody were to do the same calculation, let's say Python, he would, even to just look at the file, the person would need to have a background of coding, right? So that's what makes Excel very visually easy to understand once a person has gone through the initial stages of learning. And hence that's why the basic why this industry has been using finance for a long time, right? Some tips that I would like to give you in terms of learning finance is to always use these functions whichever you learn, whether it's data validation functions like data table, whether it is shortcuts, etc., to use it under scenarios dealing with data. So you need some examples to work with, because these examples not necessarily have to be through an academic course, but it has to be done. For example, you could just look at your bank data, download your bank data statement in Excel, and try to figure out if you can present savings versus unnecessary expenses. Can you categorize them very easily using Excel? So that's the kind of exercise that you need to perform in order to become proficient with Excel. Now let's talk about the aspect of data visualizations. Let's talk about some business intelligence tools which are generally used, which is Power BI and Tableau. Now, if you are an entry-level professional, let me be frank, there is no need to learn Power BI because none of the freshers who are hired in finance would be expected to make presentations. And specifically when you're talking about equity research, you would not even get the chance to create such dashboards probably in 5 to 6 years of experience. You start getting those experiences and the requirements only after you go through the initial 5 to 6 years experience, and then you progress into making presentations and calculations and showcasing the entire storyline. And that's where the Power BI and business tools like Tableau tend to get useful. So if you're a fresher and if you're just getting into finance, if that's the target, I would not really suggest spending a lot of time in Power BI. Once you enter the industry, then it would make sense, and at that time it would not be that difficult also for you to learn because you would have got some experience behind it, right? Now let's understand the third aspect of it, which is financial modeling. Now again, you have to understand, when we are talking about financial modeling, we are talking about it as a combination of things used to arrive at a decision, right? So financial modeling is not like a financial modeling software. There's no software called the financial modeling software, right? It's just a process of thinking. So that is, and the language that we use in that is obviously Excel. So financial modeling is not necessarily only used in investment banking. It can be used in FP&A, it can be used in trading, it can also be used in general business decisions, it can also be used for your own personal finance decision making, right? So it's just a process of thinking and arriving at a decision, right? So in that aspect, since we are talking about entering into finance, most of the jobs in finance, let's say if you're talking about entry-level positions, would be related to equity research sell side, right? Because that's where the maximum amount of jobs are outsourced from US to India, and there are a lot of KPOs which hire for those positions. Now at that level, the financial modeling level that is expected is understanding that you are able to link the three financial statements, you are able to add data in the Excel, you are able to create a simple discounted cash flow model, but you understand properly what it means and what it implies. It's of no use to make a very complex model, even if you were to learn how to model it in a very complex manner, but then not understand what exactly is going on, and that's the major challenge with candidates, right? At entry level, they tend to spend a lot of time thinking that I will just beautify my model and I will show these 100 graphs, but then again, you don't really understand what it really means, right? So there are simple examples, if I would say, is that if an interviewer is asking you that you've made a financial model, so walk me through any financial model that you have made. And if, let's say, someone has made a model on a company like Uber, right, a traveling company, how would you present it? So the modeling experience, what it should have done in the course, should have given you a sense of how this business is placed against all the other businesses in the world. For example, transportation business as a overall, how does Uber fit in that, right? What is the competition? What is something different that Uber is doing which others are not doing? What are the margins like? In another 10 years, do I see that Uber will still perform? These are the questions which should have, automatically been answered because of your experience with making a model in your respective learning methodology, whether it's in a class or whether it's your learning by itself, right? So that's what exactly is the goal to do, right? And finally, let's talk about how all of these things will add up. So you understood the language, which is Excel. You also learned financial modeling. You had a bit of an experience with Power BI or some business intelligence tools, but now you have to be that kind of a person who's able or who is inquisitive to understand how a company works, right? For example, if I was talking about let's say a company, let's say one of the companies is Asian Paints. So if you're talking about Asian Paints, why has so many US bigger companies than Asian Paints had tried to enter markets like India but not been able to perform? It's not because of just the paint quality or the branding. It's or not even because it's a local domestic brand, but it's because of data analytics which was used by Asian Paints, in which Asian Paints over the years, since it had a big distribution network, was able to predict which is the kind of paint which or the color which will be ordered, or what is the grade of quality of the color which is going to be ordered, which location it will be ordered, and hence for a distributor of Asian Paints, it's easier for the company to supply that inventory at the right time and supply that need. In fact, Asian Paints was one of the lowest commission paying company and still is, and all these US companies were ready to pay more commissions in order to entice these distributors to move away from Asian Paints and to go into the US brands, but it failed miserably, right? That's the kind of mindset you need when you're analyzing a company. It cannot be just the fact that I just took 3 years of data of Asian Paints and I just took an average of the revenue and I forecasted it, and then I created a DCF valuation. That's not what is required here. What is required here is that obviously will be done, but then you have to have this kind of a mindset when you are analyzing companies. And if this is something that you can think, then degrees won't really matter, right? So then whichever background you are, if you can present your skills at this level, then any company would be ready to look beyond your qualifications and give you a chance. Maybe some of the companies might not really list you because of your qualifications or your background. Maybe you're an engineer, so maybe most of the companies you might not be shortlisted, but there will be one or two companies, there will be one company which will shortlist you and will give you the experience, and that's where your career will start. So those are the essential tools for entry in terms of the skill set in today's world.